In Unit 3 in Commercial Correspondence, up till now, we have covered the basic introduction of commercial correspondence and we have talked about the 4 C's. We followed up this discussion with a discussion on emails, how to start having your own email account. Then we moved over to the printed stationery, why is it used, how does it look like. We talked about the various parts of the letter. And then we moved over to the format, the layout, and we said that we would be using the full block form for purpose of our discussion in the class. We talked about the various letters of inquiry, we talked about the complaint letters, we talked about how to write an apology letter, how to respond to complaints. Now today we are going to discuss another kind of letter of inquiry, which is basically request for quotation. Now let me first of all introduce you to the word quotation. Now why do we need a quotation? What is basically a quotation? See, whenever public sector organizations, government organizations, they purchase some item, they cannot straight away purchase it from anybody or any particular organization. What they have to do is they have to first invite quotations. Now what is a quotation? Quotation is a document which quotes the price basically. So for example, let me give you an example. If Degree College Pithoragarh wants to purchase 20 computers, so they will first of all invite quotations from all the suppliers who are there in Pithoragarh. So we will publish a notice which is called a tender notice in a newspaper, or maybe we would also display it on our website, wherein we'll specify the kind of computers that we want. We will give the exact specification and then we will ask the suppliers, whosoever wants to supply us these computers, we will ask them to give us a quote, the price at which they can sell these computers to us, right? Once we have got quotations from all the suppliers, then what we will do, we will select the lowest price quotation and then we will purchase the product from that particular supplier. Is that okay? So this is the purpose of quotation. Let me also tell you how to design the tender notice. Just now I said that these notices, tenders, these quotation, requests for quotations, invitation for quotations, they are published in newspapers. At times they are displayed in your website also. How to do that? How to design that tender notice or request for quotation notice, that we will study later on in the coming units. But today what we have to basically understand is, if you are asking for quotation from maybe a handful of suppliers or maybe one supplier only, and you are not planning to publish a notice in the newspapers as such, you simply want to communicate this information only to the handful of suppliers and want to have these suppliers send you the quotation, then in that case you can also write these kind of commercial letters, right? So, and this you would generally find in private organizations. Fine. So they may not publish a request for quotation notice. They would simply send a letter to the existing suppliers or a few of the existing suppliers, or to those suppliers who have supplied to them earlier, and they will ask for quotation. So this is that particular letter wherein a company is asking for quotation from the various suppliers. Is that okay? So let us understand. Now please understand, this particular request has been sent by the Cabinet Minister of India, the Ministry of Health and Family Planning. The Health Minister is sending this quotation. So it is basically coming from, this particular request for quotation letter is coming from the Health Minister, and this probably is the supplier. The Pranavayu Limited is the supplier. And so what we have done is, we have send him a request. We are sending him a request through our letter and we are asking for quotation. Is that fine? Now have a look at the body of the letter. Dear sir, this is to bring to your kind knowledge. Now please notice the element of courtesy here, that the Government of India is planning to purchase 20,000 oxygen concentrators, and now we are providing the specification also, model E type 2.5 LPM. This is which element? This is the clarity element. I hope you understand why we are doing this. See, oxygen concentrator may be of different capacities. The one which is of the smaller capacity will certainly be costing less. The one which is of higher capacity will certainly be costing more. So we are giving exact specification as to what we want. We have mentioned model E type and 2.5 LPM, right? And we have also mentioned that we are planning to purchase 20,000. We, in the sense that the government of India is planning to purchase 20,000 oxygen concentrators. The government, however, intends to place order for the said machinery only with well-known and reputed manufacturers and suppliers like your firm. So we are also in a way telling the Pranavayu Limited that the government is not going to come up with a public notice. They are only contacting a few well-known reputed suppliers like your company. So maybe I am sending this letter not only to the Pranavayu Limited but to other reputed suppliers also, right? Now let's move on to the second paragraph. I therefore invite you to submit your most competitive quotation. What do we mean by the competitive quotation? Quotation is when you are quoting the price. How can you quote a competitive price? How can you quote a price that will help you win over your competitors in the market? Your price has to be the least. So that is what we mean by the most competitive quotation. Means please quote the lowest possible price. Then only you would be able to win the quotation. So we are saying most competitive quotation at the earliest, means as early as possible and not later than May 15th. So this letter has been written on May 1st and we are asking for the quotation within 15 days. Not later than means on May 15th or before May 15th, right? Now the third paragraph, I consider it opportune to point to the fact that if your supply terms are found favorable and if no quality defects are found in the units delivered, the government may place a repeat order for 50,000 units in the month of June also. Now, so I am actually throwing a bait. I am enticing the supplier. I am telling him that don't think that this is just 20,000 units. This order is worth 20,000 units. If you supply us a good quality product which does not have any defect and we are satisfied, we may purchase additional 50,000 units from you. So in essence, whatever price you are quoting, please keep that into your consideration. Please keep it into your consideration that we may ask you to supply an additional 50,000 units. So in essence, you might be supplying us 70,000 units. So we are in a way also telling the prospective supplier that you should be quoting us the least possible price plus the best possible quality should be given to us, because that may help you win the repeat order. Is that fine? Right. So this is how you have to write these kind of letters when you have to request a quotation from a supplier, firm or supplier industry. Now please understand that who the supplier here is. Pranavayu Limited. Who would be the customer? The government of India would be the customer, and the first lot of purchase would have 20,000 units and there can be a repeat order for 50,000 units. Is this okay? Now please understand why are we using the word most competitive here? Because we can only purchase, this is a rule in government, that if all the products are of the same quality, you can only purchase from the lowest price supplier. So that is why we are asking for the lowest quote. If they quote the lowest price, naturally they would be able to get the contract from us. They would be able to get the contract of supplying 20,000 oxygen concentrators to us. Us means government of India. Is that okay? So this is how you have to write a letter of quotation. A request for quotation. A letter requesting a quotation. Right? Now let's have a look at how does Pranavayu, the receiver of this letter, respond to this letter, respond to this request for quotation. Now this letter has been sent by the Pranavayu Limited manager is Mr. Mohit Suri, and he is sending it to the government of India on the very next day, May 2nd. Now kindly refer to your letter GOI 202122 C49. Now what do we mean by this? I hope you understand this is the reference number, right? Now have a look. This is the reference number GOI 202122 C49, which basically means Government of India year 2021-22. C probably stands for confidential and 49th means probably it is the 49th confidential letter in the year 2021-22, right? Now, so Now Pranavayu is responding to this letter of inquiry, this letter requesting a quotation from Pranavayu. So how the Pranavayu responds: kindly refer to your letter GUI. So this is the reference number of the letter which was sent by the Government of India dated May 1, 2021 regarding the planned purchase of 20,000 oxygen concentrators. And I am again specifying the features of the oxygen concentrators by the Government of India on an urgent basis, right? Now this is the more important part. We would be happy to supply the said order at rupees 22,000 a piece. So this is the price that they are quoting, 22,000 rupees per oxygen concentrator. Again, please understand that these are all fictitious numbers, so don't think that they are corresponding to reality. It's not like that. They're all fictitious numbers. Don't go home with the assumption that an oxygen concentrator costs you 22,000, right? So they are quoting this price, 22,000 a piece, and are hopeful of making the delivery within 10 days. And we are also saying that once you place a confirmed order with us, within 10 days we'll supply all 20,000 units to you. So the maximum lead time is 10 days. So if you place the order on by 13th of May, you will have your supplies at your doorsteps. Is that okay? Again, they are also offering something special to the government. They're saying, as a special offer for the Government of India, we are also willing to provide 3 months free service guarantee on all delivered units. Now they are going a step ahead. Why? Because they want a repeat order. I hope you remember that the Government of India had said that if they're satisfied with this purchase of 20,000 lots, 20,000 units, they probably would be placing another request for 50,000 units. So they are probably trying to entice this customer into buying more from them. So they are offering something extra, right? So what they are offering, they are saying we would service all your oxygen concentrators free of cost for 3 months, right? So we would be offering you free service for 3 months on all the units that you purchase. We would very much appreciate if the government could make an advance payment of 30% of the net order value as confirmation of the order. Now, please understand, they are saying that generally whenever you place such orders, you have to pay some advance as well. So they are asking for the advance, but they are not straight away asking for the advance because that would not be courteous. So they are saying in a slightly different manner. They are not saying, please provide us. Our rule is that you have to pay 30% of the total amount upfront before the production starts or before the delivery starts. So whenever you are placing the order, you have to pay this 30%. We are not saying it like that. We are saying we would very much appreciate if you could make an advance payment of 30% of the net order value. Net order value is 20,000 units would be purchased at rupees 22,000. So the multiplication would be the net ordered value, 20,000 units into rupees 22,000 per unit. That will give you the net order value. So they are asking the Government of India to also pay them 30% of the net order value. That would only be considered as a confirmed order placement by the Government of India, and then only they would spring into action. They would start producing or maybe procuring these oxygen concentrators to supply it to Government of India. So very, very courteously they have expressed what they require. Also they've said we want 30% as an advance, right? So this is how you have to write the responses to such letters of inquiry. Fine, we have quoted the price, and then we have also offered some extra service so that we can entice Government of India into purchasing from us. And then we are also listing one of our conditions, and the condition is that 30% of the money has to be paid in advance. So that is how you have to write things in a very courteous fashion. So thank you very much for your time. Tomorrow in the next session, that is, we'll be studying the bargaining letters. How do you write bargaining letters? Thank you.